Good morning, America. Secure your perimeter, fire up your engines, and wake up to the truth. Welcome to Kinetic News Daily. We are live, real, and we are delivering the unfiltered truth that the mainstream networks are just not going to tell you. All right, today we got the global geopolitical meltdown again. What's nothing new about all that? The globalist agenda. Let's get started with let's go over Marco Rubio. He's in Senate hearings today answering some questions. So let's get on with that.
There wouldn't have been a blockade if Iran had agreed to do what they said they would do when the ceasefire kicked in, which is they were going to open the straits. What they're doing is unlawful and illegal. There isn't a country on earth other than Iran and maybe Oman that flirted with it, who's in favor of what Iran is doing in the Straits. The Chinese are against it. The Russians are against it. Everyone is against it. The whole world is against it.
Secretary Rubio also facing questions about Taiwan after President.
Now let's take the Iran here. Yes, the Chinese don't like it, and no, the Russians don't like. Nobody likes it. Why? Because it's causing an energy squeeze, which is what it's meant to do. I assume DJT expected it to go a whole lot easier than that, but it didn't. And so now we're stuck in a gauntlet, if you will. We can't step back and we can't keep pushing forward. What we need to do is come to an agreement where we need to separate the reason that they're doing this. The reason they're doing it is over nuclear weapons. Now, nobody wants Iran or anybody else to have nuclear weapons, certainly not anyone in the Middle East. And we do know Israel has them. So, this is probably a big portion of the reason why Iran and other countries want them too. So, if you want my best, get the nuclear weapons out of Israel, and the whole Middle East thing would probably go away. And then Israel would worry about them being attacked. So it's one side of the coin or the other, and nobody's going to negotiate anything. So, how about we just everybody get rid of their nuclear weapons, which is wishful thinking, and we all know that ain't going to happen. But we can't expect Iran or any other country to do what we tell them to do or tell them they can't do something that either us, Israel, or somebody else is doing. I mean, that's just not right. And this whole Iran issue just should not even be. It should have been over a long, long time ago, but it's not.
President Trump's trip to Beijing 2 weeks ago.
There is a second pending sale, which I think is the one you're referring to. It's the $14 billion one, and that remains under review. It's a very, as you know, a very delicate relationship to balance. But our policy on Taiwan is not changing. It did not change on this trip.
And now I'm not changing anything with Taiwan. I've said before, and I'm going to say it again right now. As they're calling it, the Don Road Doctrine. What I see DJT doing is he's separating the fields. You got China's going to take Asia and that whole part of the world is going to be theirs, their control. They're going to rule, run, whatever, however you want to describe it. Yes, the countries will still be their own countries. It's not a dictate or takeover, but it is a separation of powers. And then Russia, the way it kind of looks, Russia's going to end up with Europe. I don't know exactly how that plays out, but that's kind of what it's looking like, and Europe can't survive by themselves. That is for certain. Um, for that, neither can England. They seem like two major players that are in the way. They absolutely need to be taken out of the complete discussion. They're lunatics, and I know I use that word a lot because they are. I mean, Einstein's definition of insanity: continue to do the same thing again and again and again, never changing nothing, and each time you're expecting it to be something else, be better, be whatever. That's just a bunch of crap, and everybody knows it. But it sounds all good, so we just keep on saying it. And that's about all I got on.
Cuba also came up after that indictment of Raul Castro, brother of Fidel, former president, of course, who turns 95 tomorrow.
And now we're going to go to the Cuba, which is where I actually wanted to be in the first, but we're going to start out with Venezuela. Now, Trump went into Venezuela. He took it. That one went, very nicely. That was, you can say, is a well planned deal, and nobody saw that one coming. But those things only happen one time. You usually don't get a second shot at it. Um, it was absolutely, in my opinion, absolutely necessary for DJT to do that for several reasons. One, Venezuela was sponsoring the Democrat Party. They were sponsoring and supporting, funding, in fact, the whole immigration debacle, the whole, they're supporting, were supporting the drug cartels, not only in Venezuela, but Colombia, Mexico, funding them, supplying them weapons, whatever they needed. That's where all the money was going. That's where all the money was coming from. Venezuela. And Maduro, they had to take him out. And I'm guessing, just a guess, because I'm not on the inside, but I'm guessing that they are extracting a whole boatload of information out of Maduro. And it's going to be thrown out all on the table like a gauntlet. It's going to be just thrown out there, and then everybody needs to walk through it, walk around it, and see what's there. And it's going to be not a good picture. And there's going to be fighting and arguing and yelling and screaming that this person faked that or you faked this. Whatever. The point is, DJT had to take Venezuela, had to take the oil, the power, the wealth, the criminal acts out of the picture. And in doing so, he cut off the funds to the Democrat criminal party. And you heard me right, Democrat criminal party. That's who they are. Look at the state of California. Everybody can play around with their, 100 billion, 200 billion, 150. The state of California has robbed, stolen over 1 trillion with a T, trillion dollars. The state of California, the Democrat Party has been in complete control of the state of California for 16 bloody years. And all they've done is bled California dry, bled it dry, and infested it with, I would guesstimate, somebody can argue this all they want. I live here. I see them all the time. The state of California has no less than 8 million illegals in it. And I would argue the fact you could count that to 12 million illegals right here in the state of California. The state of California has, I would guesstimate off the top of my head, 12 representatives that they should not have because of all the illegal head counts going on here. It's just such a criminal organization. It is unbelievable to me that good people, and I know a lot of Democrats, I know a whole lot. I'm in California, they're all Democrats. And they're not bad people. They're nice people. I mean, there are some real winners out there, but for the most part, they're all good people, nice people. How their insanity cannot see the devastation the Democrat Party does is beyond me. And how can they keep voting for them is only because they have been programmed, literally programmed their entire life. They started voting Democrat when they were 18. They're 62 now and they're still voting Democrat. They never looked any other direction. Red is bad, blue is good. This is all that matters to them. And that's the problem because it's not about right and wrong. It's not about what's good for the people. It's about my side versus your side, us against you. This is a we situation here, the United States of America. One goes, we all go, people. We either stand as one or we will fall as none. That is an absolute. So let's hear what Marco's got to say.
Have sponsored terrorism. It's supported groups. For example, virtually every left-wing, radical, violent terrorist group in the Western Hemisphere has at some point relied on support from Cuba. The ELN, the FARC dissidents, including them, have been involved.
And while Secretary Rubio has spent his day on Capitol Hill, negotiators and representatives of Israel and Lebanon have been meeting at the State Department to try to nail down and extend that ceasefire, something that Iran would like to see before moving forward with peace talks with the United States.
And that's that. So Marco pretty much just said what I was saying. I just gave you a bit more detail on it. And there's a whole lot more to it. The people just need to understand. They really need to understand what it is instead of just understanding you're a red coat, you're a blue coat, and we don't like each other. You know, this is about our kids' future. This is about all of your future. So we're better off working together. All right, I need to get out of here. So this is the hard data for the day. The machine is moving ever so fast. Day by day, it's just whipping by. Hit the comments. Show me, tell me how to make it better. Tell me how to fix things. Tell me how you would prefer it. We could use your support, use your help. Hit the like, subscribe, follow us, share, and I mean it. Put your comments down in there and let me know what you think because that's what we're here for. That's what's important. All right, everybody, this is Kinetic News Daily. Hope we see you tomorrow.